Hello, myself Mr. Amit Kusnare. Here we want to analyze a given fixed beam by using consistent deformation method. So E and I value is given. First step, I will convert the E value in kilonewton per meter square. Next, I will find the HDI of the structure. So while finding out the HDI of structure, observe the given loading. So loading is only perfectly vertical in a downward direction. There is no any application of horizontal force. That's why at joint A and at joint B there will not be existence of any horizontal reactive component. So while finding out HDI, 4 is the number of unknowns, that is RA, RB and MA and MB. These are 4 unknowns, minus 2 equilibrium equation, that is summation Fy equal to 0 and summation moment equal to 0. These are 2 equilibrium equation. So HDI of the structure comes out to be 2. Here I am taking the unknowns as MA and RA. Now just remove this unknown. Because of removal of this unknown, we are getting a cantilever structure. Cantilever structure is a determinate type of structure. Now on this determinate type of structure, apply given loading. Because of applied loading, we are getting this displaced shape, that is delta A1 and theta A1. Now we will draw a bend diagram because of the application of loading. So this is the bend diagram because of application of loading. Remember, first here there is a provision of a UVL. Because of UVL you have to draw a cubic curve. Next, from this point to this point there is no loading, that's why this is a straight line. Next, from this point to this point there is no any type of loading, so this is also a straight line. This is a straight line, this is a straight line, and this is a cubic curve. So likewise I have drawn a bending moment diagram. Here I have shown the calculation how I have drawn the bend diagram. Now we'll go for drawing bend diagram for the unknowns. So first unknown is reaction RA. So now apply the reaction RA. Because of application reaction RA, we are getting the displacement in upward direction, that is delta A2 we are getting. So to get delta A2, I have drawn this bend diagram for this part. This is the bend diagram. Now apply the second unknown, that is MB. Apply the second unknown as MA at point A, and because of application of this unknown we are getting delta A3 and theta A3. Now of course, as there are the two unknowns, RA and MA, there are two unknowns. That's why for this type of problem we have to use two sign convention. That is, for RA we'll apply the sign convention for delta, because RA is the force. For force we have to consider the governing deformation is the displacement. For moment governing deformation is the rotation. That's why for moment you have to consider the rotation as a governing deformation. So here for the two unknowns you have to consider two sign convention. Just you have to consider this, that is force corresponds to displacement and moment corresponds to rotation. So here first of all I will explain how to use the sign convention technically. Next, while solving the example, again I will tell the sign convention in another way. So first of all consider this way of sign convention. So here R A is the force. For force, governing deformation is the displacement. So consider delta. For the application of force, consider delta, sign convention for delta. So displacement in the direction unknown, take it as positive. Displacement in the direction unknown, this is the unknown, in the direction take it as positive. So here, because of application unknown, we are getting upward displacement. That's why this upward displacement, the delta is taken positive, upward delta is taken positive. So here delta is upward, that's why delta E2 will be positive, delta E3 will be negative. And of course, because of the loading, because the loading is applied in a downward direction, displacement will be in the downward direction. That's why delta for this loading will be also negative. Delta A1 will be negative. Now, while consideration of sign convention for theta, we have to consider the second unknown, that is the second unknown is ma, that is the moment. So moment corresponds to the deformation, that is rotation. Moments corresponds to rotation. So here the second unknown, that is moment, is applied. For this, the governing deformation will be the rotation. So whatever may be the direction of rotation because of application of unknown, that will be treated as positive. Whatever may be the direction, this is maybe clockwise or anti-clockwise, whatever that may be, but this will be treated as positive because of application of unknown. So deformation will means both, that is displacement and rotation. So here moment is applied, that's why here we have to consider rotation. So because of application of moment, this rotation we are taking as positive. So as this theta A3 we are taking as positive, here theta A3 is going in a anti-clockwise direction, this we are taking as positive. So this is positive, that's why this will be negative, that is theta A2 is opposite of theta A3, that's why this will be negative. Next, come to the diagram because of loading. Theta A3 and theta A1 is having same direction, that's why both are positive. So this is the technical way I have explained for the sign convention of delta and theta. But for instead of application of this part, I will give another sign convention. So always keep in mind that delta and theta both are having the opposite direction. Delta and theta will be always having a opposite direction. So you have to keep in mind only sign convention for only single unknown. So I will consider here RA is the force. For force, consider only the displacement. For force, consider only displacement. So here, because of application unknown, that is RA, we are getting upward direction, displacement in the upward direction. So here delta A2 we are taking positive, delta A3 negative, and delta A1 as negative. So next, while writing down the sign convention for theta A1, theta A2 and theta A3, just write the signs of all this rotation opposite to that of deltas. So suppose here delta A1 is, we are written negative, means theta A1 will be positive. In this first diagram, we are taken delta A2 as positive, means theta A2 will be negative. Here we are taken delta A3 as negative, means theta A3 must be positive. Just theta and delta will be always opposite in a sign. Now come to the calculation of finding out deltas. So here we have written the expression for finding out delta A1. For this, come to the diagram drawn, Benduen diagram drawn because of the loading. So this is the Benduen diagram drawn because of loading. Just we are going to take moment of all this area. So here we have got a cubic curve, this is a triangle, but here we have got a cubic curve, here is another trapezoid, here another trapezoid. So there are three diagrams, here is trapezoid, here is trapezoid, here is a cubic curve. There are three diagrams. We'll put a centroid of these three diagrams. Next, we'll measure areas of these three diagrams. Next, we'll multiply this centroid distance from point A, because we have reached point A, we have taken unknown as A. That's why from point A we'll measure a centroid distance of these three diagrams. So here there is a, we have used trapezoid. Of course, if someone don't know the area formulas for trapezoid, you can make the division, that is in triangle and rectangle, in triangle and rectangle. Here I have solved this example by considering the trapezoid. So now come to the formula for trapezoid. So this is the formula for trapezoid. Here I have shown the area. Area is half of base sum of parallel side into distance between parallel side. Next, I have written here values of x1 and x2. Formula for x1 and x2. x1 is the centroid distance from A side. x2 is the centroid distance from B side. So simple. You can keep in mind likewise that if I want to get this x1, that is centroid distance from A side, so first of all I have to write A plus twice of next. Here x2, I'm going to measure a centroid distance from B side, so first of all I write B plus twice of next. Likewise you can write the formula. So here first of all there is a cubic curve. For cubic curve, formula is 1/4 of base into height. For this part again I will come to the another table. In this table I had already discussed in the introduction of consistent deformation method. So for point load we are getting a triangular Venn diagram. For UDL we are getting a parabolic curve. For UVL, uniformly varying load, we are getting a cubic curve. So for this, formulas are different, area and centroid distance. So you can keep in mind this formula likewise, that is here there is a 1/2. So next to a next degree, next value will be there 1/2. After 2 there will be 3, after 3 there will be 4, and after 2 there will be 3, after 3 there will be 4, after 4 there will be 5. Likewise you can keep in mind this to all the formulas for the area and the centroid distance. So here I have written the formula, that is area, centroid distance, EI variation. For finding out data, just you have to write always 3 brackets, area, centroid distance and EI variation. Next, there are one cubic curve is there. Next, 2 trapezoids are there. So this is the area of trapezoid into centroid distance into EI variation. Remember, we have to measure a distance from a point. So suppose the centroid is at this point, we are going to measure centroid distance from a point. So this is 3 plus the formula, the centroid distance from this side. So suppose this is a centroid, so I am measuring centroid from this distance from a point. So this is 3 meter plus I am measuring the distance from this side, that is from 30 side. So first of all I have to write 30 plus twice of next. Now come to the formula, 30 plus twice of next I have to write. Likewise consider next trapezoid, this area multiplied by centroid distance multiplied by EI variation. So here from this calculation we can get the value of delta A1. Of course this total delta A1, I have put here curling bracket, this total delta A1 will be negative. Now we are written delta A1, that is negative. So theta A1 will be opposite of that, that is positive. So just write theta A1 as positive, and to draw theta A1 means just you have to write only 2 brackets from deltas. In delta calculation we have written 3 brackets, that is area, centroid distance and EI variation. While writing theta, just you have to write first and last bracket, that is area multiplied by EI, area multiplied by EI. So while writing this part we are not required to come to the that diagram, just write, you can write this total equation by considering only theta delta A1. Now again write delta A2. For delta A2, just you have to consider Bendonian diagram because of the application of the unknown, that is RA. So this is the Bendonian diagram because of application of the RA. So just take a moment about point A, this point, just find area, central distance and EI variation. So we have got this answer, area, distance, EI variation. We have got the answer positive. Theta will be opposite of it, that is negative. Just two brackets write, first bracket and last bracket. Simple, we have get theta 2. Next, delta A3. For delta A3, just consider Bendonian diagram because of application of ME. Bendonian diagram is nothing but just a rectangle because moment is applied to a cantilever beam. So just we are getting this Bendonian diagram, that is a rectangle. Just you have to consider area of this rectangle. So area multiplied by distance multiplied by EI variation. Of course delta A is negative because delta A3 is in a downward direction, which is opposite of delta A2. A2 we have taken positive, that is the delta A2 is the displacement because of the unknown, and displacement because of the unknown is taken as positive. Displacement because of the unknown is taken as positive. Delta A3 is, that's why it is negative. It is downward direction, it is negative. Opposite of it, it will be positive. Just write theta opposite of delta. Delta we are getting negative, that's why write theta as positive. Just you have to write only two brackets, area and EI variation. Area and EI variation, we are getting all these values of delta. Now come to the compatibility equation, that is delta equal to 0. Delta A will be delta A1 plus A2 plus A3 will be equal to 0. Now put all these values, we will get one equation. Now use another compatibility condition, that is theta A equal to 0. Theta A1 plus theta A2 plus theta A3 will be equal to 0. Now put all the values and we'll get another equation. Solve the two equations simultaneously, this equation and this equation. Solve these two equations simultaneously and we'll get the value of MA and RA. Of course, after getting the value of MA and RA, apply this equilibrium equation, you can come to the value of MB and RB. After getting value of MB and RB, you can draw SFD and BMD. Here I have drawn a final Bendonian diagram. Of course, at A point, there is a projection of UVL, uniformly varying load. That's why there will be a curved part will be there, and from this point there is no, from this point to this point there is no loading. That's why this will be a straight line. From this point to this point there is no loading. That's why this will be again straight line. So this is the final Bendonian diagram.